In a world where everyone is showing everything, silence feels like a secret. Scroll through social media, it's full of faces, smiles, filters, and carefully chosen moments. But among those millions of people sharing every detail, there are a few who stay invisible. They scroll quietly, they observe, they rarely post a picture of themselves, and people wonder why. Maybe they're shy, maybe insecure, maybe just private. But often, the truth is deeper. For some, not posting is not about hiding. It's about protecting something real, their peace, their authenticity, their inner self. Take Maya, for example. She travels, she laughs, she lives deeply, but you'll never see her face online. Her friends tease her, "Maya, you went to the mountains and didn't post a single photo?" She smiles and says softly, "I didn't go there for likes, you see?" Maya's world is full of real moments. Quiet coffee mornings, handwritten letters, sunsets that no one else saw. She doesn't need a camera to prove they happened, because some memories feel more alive when they're not turned into performance. Psychologists often say that social media works like a mirror. Every post, every like, every comment, it reflects how we want to be seen. When someone posts a photo, they're not just sharing a moment, they're seeking reflection, or asking the world, "Do I look good? Do I matter?" And when likes flood in, the brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that makes us feel rewarded. But those who don't post, they live outside that loop. They're not chasing validation. Their self-worth isn't built on hearts and comments. They find peace in privacy and confidence in silence. Still, not everyone who stays offline is calm. Some people don't post because they're afraid, like Arun, who once uploaded a picture and received mocking remarks about his looks. That moment stayed with him. Now he watches others post freely, and he feels something heavy, not jealousy, but fear. Psychologists call it social evaluative threat, the fear of being judged. It activates the same part of the brain as physical pain. For people like Arun, silence becomes protection. But there's another kind of silence, a stronger one, the kind that comes from deep awareness. These are people who know that identity isn't a selfie. They post thoughts instead of faces, ideas instead of poses. They express themselves through words, art, landscapes, not through filters. They practice what psychologists call selective self-presentation. They choose what to reveal and what to keep sacred. In today's world where everyone is performing, choosing not to perform is power. Social media tells us we're all connected, but often it's connection built on comparison. When you see others' vacations, parties, or perfect skin, it's easy to feel left behind. Those who stay quiet online avoid that emotional trap. Their friendships might be fewer, but they're deeper. They find connection in conversation, not in comments. They believe not everyone needs to know everything about you for you to be real. One evening, Maya was scrolling through her feed. Her friends were celebrating, posting pictures, smiling. She felt happy for them, not envious. She thought about her day, her cup of tea, her journal, the rain she watched alone. In her notebook she wrote, "Maybe not posting is my way of keeping the moment alive. Once you post it, it becomes performance. Before that, it was life." There's real psychology behind that. Studies show that when we share a moment instantly, our brain marks it as done. The emotional depth fades. But when we keep it private, the memory stays longer, deeper, and more personal. Carl Jung once said that every person has a shadow, the hidden part of who we are. On social media, that shadow becomes digital. We post our light smiles, achievements, beauty, but hide our pain. Those who don't post refuse to play that game, accept both light and shadow privately. Their silence isn't absence, it's integrity. Then comes the idea of control. When you post a photo, it's no longer fully yours. Anyone can save it, share it, twist it. People who value autonomy feel uneasy about that. They'd rather keep their image theirs. For them, privacy isn't paranoia, it's ownership. There's also beauty in mystery. When you reveal less, others imagine more. People who don't post their photos often carry that quiet elegance. Their social media may look minimal, maybe a sunset, a quote, a song lyric, but it speaks volumes. They communicate through atmosphere, not appearance. They live to feel, not to be seen. Interestingly, the psychology changes with generations. Older people might avoid posting because of privacy or habit, but younger ones, Gen Z especially, are choosing silence as rebellion. They grew up in an age of oversharing, and now they crave authenticity. Not posting becomes a statement. I exist beyond the algorithm. They practice digital minimalism, using technology without being used by it. And then there are the watchers, the quiet observers, or what psychologists call lurkers. They scroll, read, analyze, but rarely post. They're not antisocial, they're thoughtful. They learn about people by watching patterns, not performances. Studies show that these observers often have higher emotional intelligence. They're sensitive, reflective, and deeply aware of human behavior. But silence has its shadows too. When you never post, people might forget you. They might misread your quietness as distance. In a world that rewards visibility, invisibility can feel lonely. Some people who don't post struggle with that paradox. They want connection, but fear exposure. Psychologists call this self-containment. It's when emotional boundaries become so strong they block intimacy. The challenge is to find balance, to share enough to be known, but not so much that you lose yourself. Months later, Maya posted something for the first time. Not a selfie, not a portrait. It was her reflection on a rainy window, blurred, soft, imperfect. The caption read, "Sometimes the most honest image is the one you can barely see." Her friends loved it. But what mattered wasn't the likes, it was the feeling. She didn't feel exposed, she felt expressed. That's the beauty of balance, finding expression without losing privacy. People who don't post photos often turn their energy inward. They focus on growth, creativity, meaning. Their confidence comes from who they are, not how many people see them. Psychologically, that builds resilience. When your worth isn't tied to reactions, you become freer, calmer, stronger. We live in an era that equates visibility with existence. If it's not online, did it even happen? People joke. But behind that joke is fear, the fear of being unseen, forgotten. Those who don't post challenge that fear. They remind us that the unseen still exists. A sunset, unshared, is still beautiful. A laugh unrecorded is still real. Their silence whispers, existence doesn't need evidence. There's deep freedom in that. When you're not curating your image, you can grow without judgment. You can fail without fear. You can change without witnesses. That's called authentic self-concept, being real without needing approval. In the end, social media is just a mirror. Some people look into it every day. Others, like Maya, choose not to. Because sometimes the mirror doesn't show you, it distorts you. Refusing to look isn't fear, it's choice. The psychology of people who don't post their photos isn't about shyness or secrecy. It's about intention. Some seek protection, some seek peace, some seek authenticity. But all of them remind us of something profoundly human, that being seen is not the same as being known. Maya once said, "I don't post my face because it changes, but what I feel when I see a sunset that stays." Maybe that's the truth behind all the quiet users out there. They're not hiding. They're living deeply, sincerely, quietly. And maybe, in a world obsessed with showing, the real power lies in not showing at all.